What the fuck are we doing on a Thursday? Oh, I know. A very, very special edition of Reapers Underground tonight. I have an awesome guest for you. So this is what I would like all my demons to do out there. You see that little share button? Share it the fuck out. Share it anywhere and everywhere you know where to share it to. Anyone that would love to catch this if they're able. I know some people are night workers, and it happens, but share it out anyway. Do it. You never know, because I have the great Lord, the Dark Lord, Lorcan Black with me tonight, author, musician, and active member of the Church of Satan. So before we kick off this party of blasphemic proportions, we're going to take a quick commercial break to our brothers over at the Villain Arts Tattoos. Check it out. That's right. Villain Arts tattoo conventions are the largest in the country, in the world. So wherever they are coming, make sure if you are looking for some quality ink by some superstar artists at very good prices, definitely come check it out. It's $20 for the whole weekend, I think, if I remember correctly. And it's more than just tattoos, people. It's a family of freaks like myself and my Dark Queen Mischief, who will be there in probably the next year, probably after this year is out. So check out those updates as they come. So I have the great Dark Lord, Lorcan Black, with us. How the fuck are you doing?
This doesn't look like Bible study to me. I think I joined the wrong show. I'm pretty sure I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
I mean, if you're all about the unholy word, I got it for you.
Oh, that Bible. That I get it now. Okay. Damn.
I love it.
So,
Everybody out in the comment section, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you didn't figure it out at the beginning, share it out. Please, please, oh, please. All right. Welcome, Trini. Welcome, John, Kyler, Paul. Glad to have y'all, and everyone who's still coming in. So, man, are you busy? You have more socials than I've ever seen in one place, because you do so many amazing damn things. So we're going to kind of start with it here as far as were you a musician first or an author first, or did it kind of coincide together?
well, I was an infant first, but so okay. Well, I would say, yeah, I was most definitely a musician first. I started kind of late. I got my first drum set when I was 12, so I was a drummer, but I didn't start singing or playing the guitar until I was 20. So
Oh, that's not bad.
you know,
That's not
you
bad.
hear all these people, you know, they picked up the guitar when they were 8, you know, but no.
Right. For me, drums was, as you know, is my principal instrument as well. I started when I was 9, so I mean, you weren't too far after that, so that's cool.
Yeah,
It doesn't really matter to me. I don't care at what point anyone picks up a instrument. Shit, if you got a passion for it, fucking do it.
that's right. That's right. Absolutely.
So I didn't even learn piano until I got into college, so I was like 19 years old.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
required.
I didn't really learn anything. It was just, you know, I've never taken any lessons for anything in my life. It was just
Hmm.
basically out of necessity. You know, I always wanted to be in a band, but living out here in Farmville, it's really hard to find people. So I
We
ended up
share this
just,
problem.
yeah, I just picked up when I was, like I said, I was 20. I just picked up an acoustic guitar and I kind of just started strumming and mimicking, you know, the basic chords what I had seen.
Sure.
I have no idea what they're called, what they are, and started humming along. The humming got a little louder, and then I realized, hey, actually, that doesn't sound too bad, you know. So yeah, it went on from there.
Absolutely. I mean, there is definitely something said for those that have an ear.
Yeah,
Um, I have a little bit of an ear. This is why I'm a drummer. I am not a vocalist. The devil didn't bless me in that way. So,
uh, everybody's a vocalist. You just you got to find your style, you know. Even if it's spoken word, you know, you might have this deep spoken word type thing you can do over music, you know. So
oh, shoot. Oh, that's good to hear. Kyler says he's doing better than yesterday. Well, you
hi,
definitely came to the right party.
that's
So,
right.
well, that's awesome.
Grab yourself
So,
something to drink and enjoy the show. Kyler
you
or
know,
Tyler?
it's Kyler.
Kyler. Hi, Kyler. How you doing?
JD says I have 2 ears. Thanks.
Yeah, that can actually be worse than just having one, you know. So
I know that's right. It's like I was always able to recognize registers. Like I could pick up, I understand how to go, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, all that shit.
yeah,
But to like actually sing, I've tried it before. I hear my problem is I'm a perfectionist. So I hear my voice on tape and I go, fuck no. I'm going to stay back behind the drums where my big ass needs to sit. So,
I don't know. I honestly don't know many people that hear their own voice and at first they're kind of like, "Wow, was that me? That's what I sound like?" You know, because everybody hears themselves different in their head. But yeah,
right.
some people hear themselves way too good in their head. You know, the rest of us are kind of like,
I know that's right.
yeah.
So you started with drums. So what kind of did you like get into metal like right off? Was that the stuff you were listening to or
I w- I was listening to metal, but in my house, you know, my father was listening to Hank Williams, and my mom was listening to Michael
nothing wrong with
Bolton.
it?
You know, so I had a blend of everything. But you know, I'll be honest. The When I first got the drum set, the first song I ever played was a song called "Fast as You" by Dwight Yoakam.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know that impressed the hell out of my father because like I had never touched a drum set before, and I just get behind there and just start playing along with it, hitting every note. And he's like, "How the hell do you know how to do that?"
It's called natural
So
rhythm.
yeah, it was really just just that simple and everything, and it's not a complicated song, but um, yeah. But then of course I start playing Dokken, Queensryche. I'm playing along with my stereo,
Okay.
and but
A lot of progressive stuff, a little bit of power metal.
oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. I ended up, over the years, I tried to get a little bit, more technical and play along the Testament,
Ooh,
things like
old
that.
Chuck Billy.
Yeah, but once I got listening to like Cradle of Filth and Demi Begeer, I gave up on that. I was like, nah, there's no way in hell my limbs don't move that fast. So
I can tell you after doing, 25 years of blast beating, I'm done. I can still do it, but at 46, I'm like,
yeah, right. It's like,
I
man,
can still stank beat it up though.
I'm ready to just play choir music at this point, you know. So
I think that's why I kind of, have come back to where I started. My first love was doom metal. So, playing slower, it's still heavy and sometimes heavier, depending upon, the riffage. It's all about the riff. So, and
yeah,
that's one thing that after listening to Eyes of Octavia, I definitely picked up just some awesome chunky riffs, man. For somebody who was never taught, my son was the same way. He was never taught either. He taught himself. Man, you got it going on. I hear some Andy LaRock shit in there. Don't even tell me I don't, because
well,
I
I
was.
mean, I'm definitely a King Diamond fan, but, so we
Oh,
all yeah, we all take a little bit of our
the king.
influences from everything, and just, yeah. People my mom had the King, it was Elvis Presley. My King, King Diamond. So, but,
That's right.
yeah.
I mean, you could
So,
have got away with the dark Elvis, which would be Glenn Danzig.
yeah, I'm seeing him in 2 months, and
Oh man, I'm gonna absolutely kick myself in my own ass if I don't get to that last show.
yeah, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Glenn Danzig. I'm really not. It's just he's got a
Oh,
handful
he's
of
an
songs.
asshole. I
Well,
mean,
but I mean, even his music,
his music's great.
there's a handful of songs that I like and everything, but it's like one of those bucket list things. It's like, well, shit, I might as well see him while I can, while he's
It's
still
such an
breathing.
iconic album. That first record, I mean,
Oh
it
yeah,
was just from start to finish, hit after hit after hit.
yeah. Twist the
So,
Cane, Twist the Cane is still my favorite song by him. But
as soon
so
as John Christ hits that first note, bang,
yeah,
I'm like, I instantly know what it is, and my body shakes.
oh yeah, yep,
I love
absolutely,
it. So that's awesome. A lot of the same influences that I've had: Cradle and Demu, Deicide, um Cannibal Corpse. Those were definitely like some artists that definitely kind of got my drumming style,
yeah.
throughout the years to what I was most successful at.
I
Austin
think
Smith. Oh,
okay.
sorry
No,
about that.
go ahead, go for it.
Austin
Read it.
Smith says, I've actually recently been learning guitar, and I honestly envy y'all self taught players. I could never do it, even harder to learn than to self teach.
Well,
So, right on.
here's the thing. If you can teach yourself, if you can play by ear, I find it, and even with speaking with other musicians, I think it's a little liberating.
Hmm.
If you have that natural ear, as you
Yep.
say, it's music kind of comes out of you a little bit differently. Once you learn all the technical aspects of it, if you're reading music and you've gotten into music theory, I think you get a little brainwashed into what is supposed to be happening.
Yeah,
Not so much as what you feel
I
should be
feel that.
happening. So, um, I remember one guy years ago. He even listened to the stuff and he was like, "I can tell you've never taken a lesson." And I thought he was insulting me. And I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry. That sucks." And he's like, "No, no, no." He's like, "That's a compliment." He goes, "You're not following a pattern. You're not, writing out of some, music theory book or anything like that." He's like, "What you can tell whatever you're doing is just kind of coming spilling from the cracked egg."
It's some of the best works have come from people that are self-taught, because there's so much more heart in it, and some of the best darkest stuff has come out that way, because you're really in tune with what you're playing to yourself. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's like, oh, I like the sound of that chord, or oh, I like this tuning because it's so dark and heavy, and maybe even sludgy.
yeah,
So yeah, I feel that.
yep.
All right. So did you kind of like play in any bands kind of growing up, or?
Uh, well, over the years, I've been in a couple bands that just never really panned out. The first band I was really in was a band called Aggravated by Fault. And, we had gotten to the point where we were, playing shows at the Sonar in Baltimore. We were opening for bands like
Nice.
Soilwork and Warbringer.
Ooh.
Um, and then it just kind of died. like it just one of those things. And I figured, what the hell, it was a good time. I had already been during that while I was with that band, I'd built a sort of studio, and I was writing all of these demos out, all of these songs, and I was
Hmm.
doing things that those guys couldn't do, um, and or wouldn't do. And a lot of those ended up being the demos for what was going to be my albums. So
Nice.
I tried to put together a band for about 3 years to bring Eyes of Octavia to a stage,
Hmm.
and that never came to fruition. So I just said, screw it, I'm going to do it all by myself. So I went into the studio. I had 20 songs to lay down. I laid down the drums, guitars, vocals, keyboards. I had a friend of mine named Kevin Kohler. He did the bass tracks for me because bass and me just don't mix. Um, but I had a few. Chris Gray is a guitar player around here. He helped me out with some solos. Gary Henry was one who helped me out with most of the solos. He's a youngin, but he's brilliant. So all the solos that you hear on the songs and everything, that's those guys. But yeah, the overall, writing and putting it all together and laying it out and everything was me. It took me about 6 years and $6,000 to get it all done.
Magic number.
Yeah, right, right. So
Even though
now,
it's really 9.
so now I'm waiting. I'm waiting for 6 more years since the release of those albums to release my next album. So there, the pattern is complete.
Oh, for sure, man. And I'll tell you, recording is expensive.
Yeah,
The more you can do, on your own. I mean, it's a lot easier now these days
yeah,
than it was even 10 years ago. So, you know, that helps to cut costs. But if you got a producer that just captures your sound the way that you want it, you almost don't want to leave them. It's very much a relationship.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been with I went to three other studios before I ended up landing the guy that I went with, and his name's Kenny Kingsborough, and he does the Harbor Red Studios in Baltimore, Maryland. That dude is he's what's great about him is he's quiet. He lets you do what you're gonna do. He's not stepping in and be like, "Hey, you should do this," and everything. He doesn't like play the producer role. He's just, you do you. But if he hears something that's out of key, out of tune, or anything like that, he'll stop you immediately. Like, we got to retune the guitar, or this, or let me try and fix this." But yeah, he doesn't step on your toes. He just lets you do your thing. Real good guy.
And that's really the best type of producer. It's somebody that's like, they get what they listen to you, they get what you're looking for, and they're going to do their best to get that sound.
Yeah,
That is so difficult to find because every producer's, they come from a different school. Maybe they're like, I'm just a power metal fan, or I'm a speed metal fan, death metal fan. So that's all they really know. They get something more unique and melodic, like what you're doing. They don't know what to do with it.
yeah, no, no, no. Some studios made my voice almost sound like I was singing karaoke. It was like it almost sounded like the vocal was separated from the rest of the music.
Oh yeah.
One guy had the guitar sounded like it was playing on a tin can. It was crazy. I'm like, and he was the worst of them all, and everything about everything sucked. But he had the most beautiful, elegant studio I've ever seen. It was this
Oh yeah.
huge, like 30 by 30 building that he had totally decked out, tons of equipment, and he had no idea how to use any of it. It was just sad.
Now see, I've only had one instance. It was the last album that I recorded for a band called Twisted Asylum. That it was like a $10,000-$15,000, totally decked out, state of the art studio. Luckily, the guy knew metal. But he didn't just know metal, he knew like all different types of genres. So if there was one song that we needed a little bit more of this or that, and I swear I didn't have to spend that long to get him to understand that I want Vinnie Paul's bass drum sound.
Yeah, that's a kind of a signature kick. Yeah, if you can get that,
It
that's
is.
yeah.
So I'm like, it's always been, kind of a running joke. I'm like, so who's gonna get it right? And I
Right.
finally found one that could get it right, and he doesn't do it anymore. I was like, son of a bitch.
Just tell him to give you the equipment and everything. Just tell him put all the
Oh,
settings,
I'd
how
love
they
it.
were, and everything, and
Trust
give
me.
me the equipment. Oh,
Awesome.
yeah.
So did you, when you started getting, your own stuff together and put out, did you ever imagine in a million years that Tim Ripper Owens would be singing one of your fucking songs?
No, no, that was actually one of those kind of like pinch me in my wake moments. It was, and what was hilarious? It was I had
How did
um
that even come about?
yeah, I mean and this is a life lesson to everyone who is ever going to hear this down the road.
Yep.
It never hurts to ask.
That's right.
The worst thing they can say is no. So if you want something, ask, because that is all I did. I sent
It's as
him
simple as that.
I sent him a message and said, "Hey, I've got a song that I think your vocal would sound great on with mine. Everything. I'm looking to do a duet with with someone." And he
Hmm.
listened to it and he was like, "Dude, this is epic," and everything like that. I love
Yeah.
to. And he sent me back the track, and I'm just listening to it, and like I think the first two times I listened to it, I wasn't listening to it. I was in like this state of euphoria, and I'm just like,
Fuck yeah.
"This not
Almost like a
happening."
trance.
Yeah, really.
This isn't real, man. This
Yeah.
is like the seventh realm.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think that was a song, called "Dancing to the Sounds of Your Agony." But he I thought right there that would have probably thrown him of like, it's kind of a little too twisted for me. But nah, man, he took it and ran with it. And uh I even messaged him back. I was like, "Hey man, at this point in the song and everything like that, I need you to do that signature your ripper, that high pitched just
Oh yeah.
wail." And man, just knocked it out the park. It's just crazy. So yeah, that was a highlight musically for me for sure.
Yeah. And I've told other podcasters, they're like, how the hell did you get Erie Vaughn of Danzig onto your show? I said, I follow him, and he made a post where he said, if you need to get a hold of me, here's my email.
A lot of
Because
these
I guess
guys,
Messenger wasn't working or something. So I'm
yeah.
like, you know what? I just got this crazy idea. I'm like, I'm gonna email him. I'm gonna tell him who I am, what I do, and hopefully he doesn't think I'm like a fanboy. And he's like, sure,
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing a show years ago, just kind of just like this. It was called Unholier Than Thou, and
Hmm, I like
I,
that.
I had I had the guitar player from Cradle of Filth on there. I had all of
Holy shit
yeah,
balls!
I had all of Witherfall.
Oh wow!
It was and what was funny again, I just asked, and it's
Sometimes that's
amazing
all
how
you
many.
have to do.
That's all you have to do. I'm telling you, if you want something, just ask for it and you'll most likely get it. Some people are so crippled with fear, they're like,
Oh yeah,
what if they say no? And it's like, then ask someone else. It's just keep moving, it's that
for
simple.
sure.
Yeah. Jim
It's
Carrey
just
said
that
years
simple.
ago, Jim Carrey gave a speech years ago, and he said it, if you don't ask the universe for something, you'll never get it. And it's funny, man. Like really, just if you just raise your voice a little bit and ask for ask whatever you want. You'd be surprised how much of it you'll get.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like I tell everybody, it all starts with a thought, then it becomes speech, then it becomes an action. So that's manifesting.
Oh yeah.
And that's a universal, property. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
like, I don't know why people don't, it's like they get the thought, then they speak it, obviously, but then they don't do anything about it. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You got to start
People are always like,
utilizing. You got to start
they're like,
utilizing that lesser magic, a little bit. So
exactly. Law of attraction, people. It's that fucking simple. I
Oh yeah.
teach that lesson every day at my store.
Yep.
They're like, do you have anything that, can bring money to me? And I'm like, well, do you have an
Somebody's
intent?
I'm like, if you steal somebody's wallet and there's money in that, but um, other than that,
Oh,
you
no, I
should
would
just no.
definitely not recommend that.
But other than that, you should just probably go get a job. No,
Well, that too.
yeah, there's always that. A lot of people don't do that nowadays. They sit on their ass playing video games, wondering why they're poor, and I'm like, but
Maybe you
hey.
should put the video game down. It's like Richard Simmons said, put the chips down.
Yeah, right. But I'm gonna make money playing video games. You know what? And that's every gamer's dream. But
Well, sure it is. And
yeah,
you know who fucked that up? Them goddamn Halo tournaments in Texas.
yeah,
Suddenly, there's this big team that wins 50 grand, but there's like 20 of them.
yeah,
It's like, okay, well, they're not really getting that big of a piece of the pie, so you can't base your life off of 5, 6, 7 grand. Sorry, it ain't gonna happen.
no, no. That is
Oh,
this day and age that pays 2 months worth of bills, maybe. So
exactly. Austin says true though.
that's right.
Kyler says put the bunny back in the box. I feel that. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a moment to let everybody out there in Black Flame Land get to hear some of your stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and share just a little bit of that track with Tim Ripper Owens. And let me get it pulled up here right now.
There's a voice deep down inside, speaks to me from deep in my mind. Little screams tripping the sand, telling me it's time to begin. Now that I am all I have to really be, I break free from all the lies told to me through all these years. Now my voice, it is so dangerous. Even I can't trust. Nothing will be the same. In the end, we are forever asleep. But who will weep as I dance in the sounds of your agony?
I got 2 words for that. Holy shit. That song is instantly on my playlist. It is on the playlist in my shop, and I am just going to fucking rock out to it every moment. Because let's face it, folks, Rob Halford, I love him, always will, but he's done. He's not going to be around. This upcoming festival, that big Power Trip festival, might be the last time you hear them do it, because I mean they're getting up there. Tim Ripper Owens has it like no one else right now. I've been telling people that for years, and not just because we lived and was born in the same state,
Yeah.
like 20 minutes from where I grew up.
I don't care what anyone
So
says. The Demolition album, for Judas Priest with Tim is one of the best Judas Priest albums ever.
fuck
I mean,
yeah, it was like a whole new breath of life
yeah,
into that band. You know what I mean? And I feel him on that. Why didn't they call him to go to the Rock Awards? What the
yeah,
fuck? He
yeah.
was
That
part
was
of that.
that was a dickhead move on all their parts. I mean, come on. I mean, 2 albums, years and years of time dedicated to that band, and they can't let him come on stage with them. That's some bullshit. But
I digress. We actually covered this on Tracks from the Damned on Monday about just the really bad politicism of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame awards. It's bullshit.
But that's okay. But that's okay. Tim's in KK's Priest now, which kicks ass.
Right.
So hey,
exactly. So we're not left out in the wind.
no, ever forward, ever forward. You just keep moving on, man. You just think life is going to suck 90% of the time. 5% of the time you're sleeping. So the other 5% of the time you just got to keep moving forward.
Exactly. So you have a new fan. Austin says, one emoji explains how I feel about the song, and that emoji is
Fire.
I could not agree more. By the way, absolutely love like the little bit of gentiness within the riff, and the drums are so on point. I absolutely enjoy your albums. They're fantastic. And I need to get my hands on some. You need to sign something for me. Send it my way.
It's not possible. It's not possible. I never released a physical copy. They're just they're for sale for digital download, and everything. Or
well, then I'll do that.
Yeah, but what you can do is everybody or most people in their household have this lady in these little boxes. Her name's Alexa. If you call her name and tell her to play songs by Eyes of Octavia, she will do that for you. So
YouTube as well, folks.
Yeah.
Type the name in, Eyes of Octavia. Pops up. I found it, and I'm old.
It's really easy. It's real easy to remember. I mean, come on, Eyes of Octavia just kind of rolls off the tongue,
So, I mean, fucking exactly. So, and everybody's got Spotify, everybody's got iTunes, all that shit. It is not that hard to find.
No.
Look for it.
Well, you won't find it on Spotify. It'll be on iTunes, but you won't find it. To hell with Spotify. I wouldn't put
I
a
agree.
song. I wouldn't put a song on Spotify.
Spotify.
Yeah, no, to hell with Spotify.
I'm a big purveyor of Bandcamp, which is why my current band is only on Bandcamp and YouTube. Those are the only two spots. Nice. I might think about iTunes in the future. It just depends because my biggest band was Black Tar Superstar, and I mean, we had great numbers, but they only pay like a quarter. So you're really not making much off of Spotify at all.
A quarter per song or per album?
It's actually it's per
play,
person, I guess.
Okay.
If I remember that correctly. It's like something ridiculous.
What is Spotify? 0.004 of a penny?
That's right.
It's like it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Oh man, I don't recommend it for anybody, but everybody thinks they have to have their stuff on Spotify.
No.
No, you don't.
No.
The real fans, the people that really support what you do, will go to those other mediums. They just will.
Yeah.
And Bandcamp is huge, and they're all about the artist.
Yeah, it's music is a sad wasteland, these days. So it's, like I told someone the other day, I'll never release another album ever. I'll write music, record music, and release songs.
Yeah.
But people don't buy albums anymore. They just don't. They download songs, they buy individual songs that they like. So there's no point in waiting to put together one whole album.
Yes.
At least, that's just my take on it. If you want to do an album, go for it. Rock on.
Absolutely. Trini Black says, fuck Spotify too, by the way.
Yeah. Trini Black.
Couldn't agree more.
That's my wife chiming in. So.
Yes. Did I say it wrong?
No, that was just right.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep.
I have, sometimes international guests as well, and sometimes I don't get the pronunciation right. It
That's all right.
sucks.
That's all right. No problem.
But man,
But both her and I have not the most usual, Lorcan. I get Lorcan. I get most people call me Morgan. They're just assuming there's a typo, and
what?
they're like Morgan. I'm like, no, God, but is what it is. Yeah, right.
I mean, that's literally what it makes you want to do. I
Yeah,
totally get that. Um, so you guys know where to find him. You know where to find the music. Facebook, obviously, Eyes of Octavia. Not hard to find. It's on there. Just type it in. Go follow, like, all the way around. Subscribe on YouTube, and get the songs. You just heard what we all heard. It's fantastic.
yeah. There's another song on one of the albums called "Silent Lullaby," and
Mhm.
it's a duet with Adrienne Cohen. She's the vocalist of Seven Spires, and she's toured around with Jeff Tate and
Mm,
Avantasia, and so that's another really good song. If you're into, I don't want to say melodic metal, melodic
right.
melodic hard rock, I guess, because uh, you know, but yeah, you should definitely check that out too.
That's one of the things I really love about your music is it's not very, I mean, obviously it's metal, but you don't fit one box. Like, you have depth. And that's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I
We always talk about that on my show. It's like I hate labels. I always
yeah,
will.
and when I was writing, I refused to stick to a formula. Like I mean,
As
it-
well as you
uh,
should.
a lot of bands nowadays, especially the radio bands, almost they'll release an album with 11 songs, and you can't tell where one begins and the last one ends. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, for me, it's about the riff. The songs start with a riff, and then
The
they just
power of the riff
build from
compels
that.
you.
Yes, absolutely. That's
I
right.
mean, it was said best on Down's record. Another bustle in the hedgerow. Down 2. The power of the riff compels you, and that is so fucking true.
That's right.
So not only do you do this awesome fucking metal project, but you also have a duo group with your wife called Before and After. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Before and after is the brainchild of my wife and myself,
Mhm.
and it's basically just us uh, with some acoustic guitars, and it's pulled back. I mean, it's we're still playing like classic rock covers and 90s
Nice.
90s hits, 2000s hits, and everything like that. But we have the original acoustic tunes, too. Um,
Nice.
but
I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, we had
Most people wouldn't think so looking at my painted up dead whore look. you know?
right now we released one song, um, and it's called "Doll," and she wrote that song years back, and I put my uh, little spin into it, added
Sure.
my vocal to it, and then we got the keyboardist from Paramaze to add
Nice.
a little more depth to it for just for the sake of the song. We won't be able to do that live, of course, but um that's a real good one. So you can look up before and after, and the song's called Doll. That's a good one. She's is as good as a singer as I am. She's better. She's yeah,
you
yeah,
know it just must be a thing among wives because my wife's voice, she's amazing. She can literally sing about anything. And then my little frog voice comes out, and it's like, she's like, but that was so good. I'm like, no, it wasn't.
yeah.
I'm like, I sing in the shower, driving.
Right. She's like, "Is that you singing? I thought you stepped on something." God, no.
That's how I feel most of the time. She's like, no, that was really good. I'm like, I can't do it.
Hey,
If I'm
man.
singing like a song that I know that's not my own,
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably hang with it because I like I'm so eclectic with music, and most people just think I'm like black metal, death metal, doom metal, any of the 80s metal, because I was a big fan of it all, except for the hair bands. Sorry. Uh,
Well, goodbye. See you later. No, you know
I'm
what? No, no.
sorry.
You know what? It just with your face paint and everything like that, I can totally see you in the shower singing "Shiny Happy People" by REM. Yeah, that's
Oh,
you
you
all the
know
way, right?
it.
That's it right there,
That was my go-to.
right?
Tears for Fears. Shout, shout.
Absolutely. Why not?
you know.
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of those, especially with the before and after. We're doing. Uh, oh my God. Well, I'm having a brain spasm right now. The song from the
I'm
Breakfast
not
Club.
the only one.
Wow. Yeah. No, I have COVID brain fog. Thank you, COVID, for ruining my memory. I appreciate it. I We blame everything on
Had
COVID
it
now.
4 times myself,
Yeah.
so don't feel bad.
I had it twice, and I still can't smell most things.
Oh
So
man.
what are you gonna do,
What's
right?
up, John Sorrell of Morgrot Magazine? Love you, brother.
Hello, John.
So do you guys cover like like maybe any Fleetwood Mac or anything like that in your acoustic sets?
Yeah, she does. Dreams and
Nice.
I mean, there's a ton. The sets are about 4 hours. So
Oh, sure.
you know it covers a lot. It's kind of crazy. She does these. Um, it's just insane. You can find her on YouTube. Trini Black. Um, I have to send you the link or whatever. But yeah, she's got a lot of solo stuff out there of her performing live at clubs and bars and things like that.
Nice.
She's great. That's why I married her. No, I'm kidding.
That's because we all needed a big left boot.
Yeah, I'm waiting for. She heard that. I'm gonna walk. She's gonna walk in the room and smack me. No. Yep. That was her.
It's like, oh, what the hell was that? Oh, hey, how you doing, babe?
Hi, hon. Just kidding. No.
And you obviously know, being shaved head and all like myself, that when that slap happens, oh, you feel it.
She's never hit me. She's never hit me. She's one of those
I'm
people.
just fucking with you.
No. But hey, some people need that slap, and I'll never get that from her. She will not yell. She will not scream. She's never cussed at me. She's never called me an idiot, a moron. She's never hit me. It's great.
But if she gives you that look,
the only look she's ever given me is usually when the lights have to be turned out quickly. That's it. So, door gets closed, locked, lights go down. Hair metal gets played, and magic is made. Yeah. So
yeah, it's like every time she plays metalcore and she's rocking out, and I'm like, and then she looks at me and goes,
yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, see, it depends on what you mean. See, like, with hair metal, I was never like a big fan of like Poison. Warrant had a couple like amazing songs. Uncle Tom's Cabin. I mean, that was pretty heavy for that.
I'll give them that.
Dokken always had this darker edge for me.
Yeah, I never
musically.
considered Dokken hair metal at all.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people say that and everything. I mean, they had that look, but really, when Back for the Attack came out and everything, they had their hair wasn't that big. They had a much darker feel to them, and I love that. I got into Queensryche, during the Operation Mindcrime,
Yeah,
time, and of course that wasn't really hair metal. That kind of was that progressive edge, but
for sure.
yeah. So that was, I think, what fed me the most back then.
My wife says, I bet you she's got the look, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, John Sorrell says Skid Row. Mm-hmm.
Skid Row kind of teetered. It's like
They do.
they kind of
The
had.
second record was heavy.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, once you get to
First
Slave to
record,
the Slave. Well, see, I think I can't remember what year Slave to the Grind came out, but if it coincides with the time when they were touring with Pantera, that's probably why.
right.
They were like, man, we gotta we gotta do something, man. We can't keep up with bands like
Oh
that. We
shit!
gotta.
When Pantera fucking came on the scene, they made everyone go, "Oh shit!
Yeah,
We got to rethink what we're doing."
yeah, yeah, most definitely.
Oh man! So right before we get to our next segment, because obviously we got to talk about your brilliant writing. We're going to take just a quick snippet of something that you all need to get your hands on, and you don't have a whole lot of time left. So let's check this out right now. That's right. Issue number 7 of Morgrot magazine, featuring yours truly, the big bad devil daddy himself, in an interview with a lot of my really good photos from different photo shoots I've done, talking about all kinds of stuff, plus the limited edition Reapers card game. I now have a character in this card game called Killers. Who doesn't like Killers, right? Limited edition, only 100 made. So you also get a Coroner's playlist from Morgrot magazine as well, with some awesome fucking death metal, black metal, all indie stuff. It's fucking fantastic. You only have through tomorrow to get your pre-order, so make sure you fucking do that. All right. So you have written some things that, I don't have a copy of it yet, but I'm going to. And just by checking out the title alone, Satan Always, it's a series. One is 365 days of diabolical, demonical devilishness, which, that's got me written all over it. Oh, actually, that's the same one. You have 2 books, correct?
Well, the first one was called Satan Calling: 365 Days of Wicked Witticism and Wisdom.
Ah,
And
shit.
yeah, that came out a few
I
years
accidentally
ago.
copied the same photo twice.
No, that's all right. The one you just posted, the Satan Always, is the one that's coming out next year.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, let's start with your first book. And what actually got you to want to do that? And there it is, people. Look at that shit. Hardcover. It doesn't get more satanic than that.
Look.
He's even on the back. Yeah, let's get into it, man.
It was just literally, it's just one of them things, man. There we go. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, we're gonna talk about that shit in a minute too. Because I'm just dying to say something.
Yeah, it was just, I've always wanted to write a book, but I'm not good at writing long stories. I'm more proficient at short stories and shorter passages and everything. So just thinking one day, I was like, I really want to do a book, and I was talking to a friend of mine, Eric Venor, who owns a publishing company, and it just, I told him, I've got to do something. And he was like, well, just come up with an idea, just do something and everything like that. And literally it just popped in mind. I was like, well, I could write like an anti-devotional type book.
Yes.
So really, and that was it. And I was like, oh shit, I can do that. Yeah, I can absolutely do that. So it's and it what's cool about it is that it really is, kind of an historical piece of literature. It's the first book of its kind to ever be written entirely by Church of Satan members. So
Mm.
there's that. But
Oh yeah, you sold
yeah,
me on that alone.
so I mean, yeah, the introduction by Blanche Barton, I've got the afterword by, Dr. Magister Dr. Robert Johnson, who wrote the Satanic Warlock, and everyone, well, if you don't know Blanche Barton, Magister Temple
I
Reds,
do.
yeah, she wrote the Church of Satan. She wrote a book recently called We Are Satanists.
Hmm. I have
Great,
it.
great, great lady, very nice. I
She
had
is
her.
amaze balls.
Yeah,
I mean
she
that
was a guest of mine on another podcast I did called Good Morning America, but morning like the funeral. And
exactly.
we uh we did a whole episode on the pentagonal, revisionism, and it was an an outstanding conversation. She's very well spoken, very intelligent lady. So yeah,
I
but
must have her on the underground, but I don't think she would ever do it
you never
though. I
know.
don't know.
It doesn't hurt to
It
ask.
doesn't hurt. I know. I've thought about it. I've, it's just like I get those little, tinglies like, would
Yeah.
she really get on here with a jackass like myself?
Hey, like I said, the first time I reached out to her, it was, hey, would you write, you know, for my book? I
That's
was like,
amazing.
I need 30 days, 30 passages, 30 days worth of material and everything like that. And I told her the concept, and she just right on board. She was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I love that idea. That's great. I would do it for sure. No problem. And she was working on
Almost
her
like a
own.
daily baffirmation.
Yeah. Don't say that. That came out after my book. After I released my book, I start seeing these daily affirmations. I'm like, you son of a bitch, whoever you are.
I had to throw it out there because I think it's so fucking stupid.
It's the same concept as mine, but I just don't call them affirmations, but it
Well, that's
really
the part
it's
I didn't like about it. I'm like,
yeah,
it's a little
it's
pretentious, don't you think?
yeah, it's really all it is each day. Got
Hmm.
the day at the top, and you read one page. That's it. Then you close it and you put it away until tomorrow. It's a book that's meant to be read over the course of the entire year.
Now, see, I think anyone would get way more out of that than this little photo on social media that gets buried anyway,
Yeah.
and is really not very in depth. What I'm getting from what you did with this book is that it's in depth. It's something you can internalize, personalize, as a way of, sometimes even as Satanists, we need to hear it, from
Well,
someone else.
it's not so
Sometimes.
much a self-help book, because
No,
that's
not
just kind of,
exactly. No.
but it's the idea that so many people think that you can only get your daily boost or any
Right.
kind of motivation and everything like that from people who have some sort of spirituality or religious background. And I'm like, no, atheists are intelligent too. People who do not go to church every Sunday and everything, we have just as much of a, you know, we have our 2 feet on the ground just as well, if not more. Well, way more, because our head isn't in the clouds. But yeah, so that was kind of the idea behind it, was to get multiple people from the Church of Satan to contribute with me. Most of the book is me. It's like 6 months, 6 7 months
Sure.
is just my writing, and then I had guests come on and contribute along the way.
Wow,
Um,
that is
but
fantastic.
and the next one's going to be the same concept, but it's just going to have bonus material, extra essays, a few little extra twists in there. There's artwork thrown in there, so I love doing it. It's fun and everything.
I may have to contribute myself if you wouldn't mind.
We'll have to discuss that off camera here. You know?
Oh
we
man.
we do not do the business in public. You should know this.
I do. So it's led to a second book, which is the one that I put up right there.
Yeah.
So what can we expect from this next conjuration?
Same basic idea. As I said, it's just gonna have, it's got a bonus section with just essays from even more COS members. Um, Mostly new passages. Some of the old passages, some of the favorites from the first book, I did kind of carry over, just as a reminder. It's some of the ones that I really liked. I thought really kind of hit home. But all new artwork. Um, yeah, good stuff.
I think it's fantastic because it is kind of a lonely road for a lot of people that are, like I said, lack of a better term, Levian Satanists. Because I know I hate it myself. I do.
We don't
But
say
it's
that.
like,
There's no
here's
such
the
thing.
problem.
There's no
I
such thing.
know. I know. Believe me, I do. But God damn it. Anytime I tell somebody I'm a Satanist, they go, "Oh, Satanic Temple?" My face goes. It's like the only thing they'll respond to is if I say that. It's like, why don't you fucking get it? Right? So
Yeah.
that's the only reason I say that.
Yeah.
But it is, somewhat of a lonely road, and these books can definitely be a lift and make you feel part of the inner workings of the church.
Well,
Would you agree? In a way.
I would say it's just it's a way for us individualists, to get our thoughts out, get our voice out, as a Satanist who really lives kind of just a very solitary, existence. It's
Right.
I don't interact with a whole lot of people, so doing things like this is a way for me to kind of at least put who I am. I don't want to say into the history books, but it's like more of just something that's
Contributing.
something that's going to outlive me. So um, I love the idea that my children, when I'm gone, can crack that book open and be like, hey, that's my dad. So
There's nothing better, man.
no.
Seriously.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I mean, I've always been a lyricist for my bands that most of the bands I've been in. So writing is something I've never actually, sitting down and done. So I just kind of have always looked at my truths, wisdom, whatever has always gone into those songs. So it's like to really be able to, and do what you do. I just think it's fucking amazing, man, because there is so much to gain from that. And, I own a metaphysical spiritual shop because that's what we have to call it. If I really wanted to call it the Devil's Den, I would. But then again, most people wouldn't come, and that's the problem. So you
see what you got to do is you've got to put a little separate part in the back and have a little curtain hanging and have that called the Devil's Den. So that way you get what you want. It's inside the safe place, so that way the people who really have balls can go back and find the real good stuff.
In a way, we do sort of have that. But the banner is definitely out in front for all to see, and I just don't give a fuck. I don't believe that you have to hide who you are.
Yeah.
which
Well,
is why I compliment you on obviously your jewelry because I'm a big purveyor of blasphemy myself. So as
oh, yeah.
some other people would call, loud tacky jewelry.
Hey,
No, it's not.
who
It's
cares?
called pride,
Yeah.
people,
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna give a plug here. Like
by
this
all
is
means.
one of the most beautiful, some of the most
It
beautiful
is.
jewelry that has come out in a great many years. And it's from a company called Satan Me.
Yes, that's
Um,
where I got this one.
yeah, yeah. It's he's got
I
some
support
beautiful
them
stuff.
so much.
Yeah, yeah. As should all of your viewers. If you want some good
Did
old
you hear that, people out
blasphemous
there in Black
jewelry,
Flame Land?
yeah, Satan Me. One word, Satan Me. It's just really, really nice stuff. You can get flags,
Quality.
banners, shirts, clothing. Yeah, I think the clothing is a different kind of section of that store.
It
It's called
is.
the Ungodly.
Right.
I think it's called Ungodly. Yeah. So, but yeah,
Yeah, I actually have the great Anton's print of him leaning up against the tree with his awesome fucking hat hanging behind my counter as we speak. So
very
it
nice.
is the best place to go, folks.
Mm.
So anybody out there in Black Flame Land that wants to get your hands on some of these great treasures, please go see satanme.com. You heard it here.
And he didn't ask me to plug that either. I just did it out of the kindness of my dead black heart.
And
So,
I'm glad. I am totally glad at this. So, okay. So, just to kind of wrap about this for a second. There's a lot of people, that think as a Satanist, you're supposed to have a upside down cross and all this stuff. And then there are Satanists that go, that's fucking tacky as shit. So,
yeah,
what is your take on that? Because I myself do wear an upside down cross, and obviously all kinds of satanic jewelry. So,
yeah.
what's your take on that? Because it's kind of a breath of fresh air to see that there are others doing the
Yeah.
same as I do.
Well, my standpoint on it is to each their own. Um, Whatever works best for you. Um, you do not the pride is one thing, but once you get into counterproductive pride, that's a whole nother thing. So
Exactly.
you don't want to go doing something that's going to bring attention to you that can harm your wallet or your family or anything, so you can have pride, with anything, but there's nothing wrong with doing this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with tucking the Baphomet away. If it's going to, again, draw negative attention and everything, you have to be smart enough to realize to pay attention to your environment. If you're going to wear it, probably not best to wear it at work. If your boss is a Catholic, because
Right.
he's probably going to try and look for a reason to get rid of you. But yeah, so to each their own. If I luckily I work from home, so I
Right.
can wear whatever I want whenever I want. But yeah, do what thou wilt.
Absolutely. Because I mean, anything that is blasphemous is fucking awesome in our eyes. So, whether it's art, sometimes we find some hilarity in it, which, like I was telling you a little bit earlier, I was like, some of the art that I've seen you post and stuff like that, I'm like, man, I'm on the same fucking wavelength with that shit. I love it. The darker, the better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a little twisted, but that's just me. But
That's us as individuals. Some people are a little bit more, I don't know, but is that any much different though than, would you say, in Anton's time when he started, especially with all the imagery and
Well, back then, it was I think it was used mostly as kind of a wake up call. It was
yes,
more of a, you know, if you're going to get attention for creating a religion, It's the perfect name. It's the perfect, idea. It's your people are going to turn and look and be like, oh, so it definitely, just the name alone definitely helped propel, things and get things going. But but if you look, there were a great many times where you see where he's, of course, not wearing robes and everything. He's just wearing a t-shirt, or he's wearing a nice suit and everything. So you can tell that, even he, of course, being the one who codified the religion to begin with, um, knew that there's nothing wrong with taking pride in what you are, who you are, but you can do it silently. You can keep it to yourself, um, and keep yourself from harm. Keep yourself out of harm's way.
Absolutely.
Vital
Uh,
existence. Always remember vital existence. Life is the great indulgence. Death is the great abstinence. So don't do anything that's going to endanger your life.
exactly. In all aspects,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with being who we are. Uh, I once told somebody that there's nothing wrong with being what you want to be, but you don't have to be an asshole about it.
No. No.
I always kind of like attributed to the Mormons and people that come knocking on your door saying, hey, do you have a moment to talk about the word of the Lord? We don't do that. There's
Yeah.
a reason for that. It's not very satanic. So we
No.
don't preach to you. We don't do this or do that. If you're serious about it, you'll fucking find it out on your own
Yeah. Well,
for the most part.
yeah. I don't have a problem with helping people,
If they're serious.
find a little bit of direction. I've had
Right.
arguments. I've had a great many arguments with people in the past, where somebody will post something, say on Facebook, and it may be inaccurate. And then somebody who is, of course, from a higher intelligence steps in, and, they were like, tell you how wrong you are. But when you ask them for the reason why, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, well, it's not my responsibility to teach you. Mm, okay. To me, that's kind of lazy. If
For
you
sure.
haven't if you have an answer and you have the energy to put someone down, then you should have the energy to help bring them back up. There's nothing wrong. We can all be better teachers. There's nothing wrong with teaching somebody. And now, if you tell them something, or and even point out facts, and um, then they still put up a fight, then the hell with them. That's just ignorance, wanting
Most definitely.
to stay ignorant. But yeah, so I'm definitely more about helping people, uh, if they're interested, and if they're genuinely and
Legitimately, yes.
genuinely interested. Yeah, answer the questions. Like I said, if you got time to scroll through Facebook and bullshit and slam people down, you got time to throw a little bit of your knowledge their way.
Absolutely. I always impart it on those that, I feel are, like you said, genuinely interested. And I'll always be the first one to say, you totally don't get it.
Yeah.
And then I
So,
tell them why.
yeah,
And then they're like, oh,
some people won't get it. Some people won't get it, and
oh,
then
absolutely.
then it's beyond you. Then you just need to keep scrolling and go fuck with somebody else. So
Yes, absolutely. All right. So let's talk about horror for a moment. Obviously, you are, adorning one of my favorite film series. And here at Black Flame Entertainment, we are all about our horror. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Do you want a little?
yeah, yeah. Huh? Do ya?
So, what are some of your favorite horror films?
God, the Evil Dead movies are probably my favorite horror movies. Of course, I'm a big fan of The Exorcist, Poltergeist, um, things like that. Horror movies nowadays. I have high hopes for the new Exorcist movie that's coming out. I really do. But
I'm trying to. I mean, I'm really trying
yeah,
to.
I just have that gut feeling that I'm gonna walk out of the theater just damn.
Oh, I won't. I will not pay good money to go see it. I will wait for it on VOD.
No, I've got to see it. I've got to say, actually, I'm going to see the 50th anniversary re-release of the original in theaters.
Hell yeah.
In a couple weeks. Regal is doing that Fathom events thing that they do occasionally. Yeah, so I'm gonna take it. Yeah, I'm gonna take it.
A fellow Hammer Films fan.
Oh, that's my wife. She is a Hammer Film nutbag.
Oh, we could talk for hours about some Hammer Films because that is one of my absolute favorite eras of horror. All the fucking way. I love it. I mean, it gave us Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
The greatest Dracula of all time. So many great moments. But yeah, I mean, I really do kind of think that a lot of today's horror is just based on jump scares.
Yes.
That's not really horror. In my opinion, it really wasn't until, filmmakers like Rob Zombie and movies like The Terrifier 2, that is good horror.
See, I've never
seen the best
those.
Horror is indie, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, because they can't afford the CGI, which ruins horror movies. Okay, it's like the good old fashioned props, that explode and it's melting really in your face. CGI in horror movies for me, it just doesn't mix. I loved, the look of. Think of even The Devil's Reign.
Right.
Oh man, corny as hell, but just the way it looked and everything, it was I love that. When the way they made those people melt and everything, it was beautiful.
Well, yeah, people really put the fucking work in.
Yeah. Yeah. Where else are you going to see John Travolta's face melt? If you want to see that, The Devil's Reign. So
I actually think it's probably a good thing that it did happen. So check it out. So your take, since, The Exorcist being one of your favorite films, what is your take on, let's say, The Conjuring, some of these, just the way they always depict devils, demons, all that stuff? What's your take on that?
Well, whatever. they're Hollywood always is gonna do Hollywood,
right.
But for me, I don't take any kind of offense to it. You hear a lot of Satanists, when they're watching some of these movies and everything like that, and they're like, oh, that's a cliche, or here we go again, they're misrepresenting this and this. And I'm like, you know what? I already have low expectations for humanity overall anyway. So I don't expect Hollywood to be any better. I just enjoy things for what they are, not for what I wish they would be. So, if somebody...
Oh, trust me, we're not all sitting here going, we really hope that this cloven-hoofed red being is going to come up from the ground and, one day just destroy everything. No one's waiting for that.
I'm already here.
Exactly. Absolutely. Oh, no. She says yes.
Yeah, she's a fan. She's a fan of The Nun and The Conjurings and all that stuff and everything. And those, I can watch them, but I'm not like, I don't. At the end of the movie, I'm like, oh my god, that was amazing. I'm so impressed or this and everything. but it's not like it was terrible and it wasn't a waste of my time. They're
For sure.
interesting. They've got their moments, their of creepiness.
Would have been
Um,
better if she did more than just go, coming down the
yeah,
hallway.
yeah. I'm hoping maybe this next one and everything like that. It's
Oh
something.
yeah, I'm putting them to the test. If fucking Valak doesn't do more than just float, I'm gonna have a fucking conniption fit.
Yeah, I want to.
Oh, that's
I want to see a.
funny.
I want to see a dead nun run. Damn it.
Why the fuck not? Or
Yeah.
eat somebody. Let's
Right.
do that.
Yeah.
You know? She says the
The
Pope's
Pope's
Exorcist
Exorcist.
was badass.
What's funny is that was one of the ones
I
that
just started it
yeah, that was one of the ones
today.
that um I won't say who, but somebody said that movie pretty much had every cliche in the book, and it did. It really did. It was,
So far, from
if
what
there
I've
was
seen,
if there was something you'd expect out of a horror movie, especially that deals with the devil, it's there. I think they went back through every movie that has to deal
they
with the
had to.
devil, and they were just like they had a checklist of like 50 things, and they were like, we have to put all of these in this one movie. So, but
That
overall, it did. It was interesting. It was fun to watch. It was funny at times. It was like
it has to be.
you're just kind of watching and you're like, really, wow, you know, you can just totally picture Satan down in hell with his popcorn going like, and they think that's what we do, So
It's like watching an episode of South Park, for fuck's sake.
yeah, it's funny, but those
Uh,
kind of things again is what keeps the church alive. You have to keep making people afraid of the big bad devil in order for them to keep paying every Sunday into that basket, like that, please save me from the devil, please save me. So
I mean, isn't that the biggest scam of all time?
it used to be. Now we don't have to go down this road. But
Of course not.
I just said the other day, politics is the new religion. I don't have to worry about the Catholic Church anymore.
You said it best.
I got to worry about the Democrats and the Republicans. The Democrats and Republicans are now the Catholics and Muslims. Oh, that's it. That's what it is. And people are now worshiping them 7 days a week, not just on Sunday. So yeah, but
It's funny how
it's
everything comes full circle. Right?
yeah, right. Yeah. We'll stay away from the big bag political conversation because that gets people in trouble. So,
Don't I know it?
yeah,
Oh man,
I have learned my lesson.
For sure. This is funny. Trini says, I mean, we had Maximus, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that
he turns around in his robe. He's like, "Are you not entertained, Satan?"
It's like just to hear him pretend to be Italian was enough for me to die laughing in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He's like, "Come on, Satan,
Yeah.
jump into the pig. Show me you can do it." And I'm like, you don't need, if you really get into the lore a little bit, you don't even know that it was actually Satan that was possessing that man.
I would have much rather them see them trying to pull it into a goat. That would have been more interesting. But a pig, it's like, no, at least bring out the goat, and have him possess you. No.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah.
But don't shoot it. I love goats.
Yeah, that's right. Let's make the real Black Phillip, So.
Right. Which, you know what? That movie is so underrated. I loved it.
Man, that first time I watched it, and I went to the movie theaters to watch that movie, Witch, and it was a little hard to watch. It's a little slow, a little drawn out, and especially the way they talk. If you're not used to that kind of like old English, it can be like, "What the hell did he just say?" Kind of thing.
Right.
But it was by the end of it, yeah, it's like that was one of the better ones I think that have come out in the last decade or so.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely more like natural. It wasn't so supernatural that it wasn't believable. And
Yeah.
I think that's what really did it for me. They didn't try that usual, Salem shit.
Yeah.
Not that I have anything against it, because the more blasphemous, the better.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just that's where I live. I love it. I think it's great, and especially when we win, I'm all about it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Man,
Yeah.
it has been an absolute blast hanging out with you. And we're going to put up here right now all of your links, man. You do so much.
I'm
There's,
just yeah. I'm just kind of all over the place, and yeah, but it's okay. I
exactly.
gotta keep
And
busy, you know.
there's one thing. Yeah, there was definitely one thing we didn't cover. Um, the Satanic Show. What is that exactly? Is that a podcast?
So years ago, I had a lot going on. You know,
Sure.
I had the Unholier Than Thou show, Good Morning America. I had a show called Study Not Worship. I had, very, very briefly, a show called The Warlock Hour. Um, it was,
That's fucking awesome.
yeah.
Julian Sands, we miss you, brother.
But it was, I don't want to do that anymore. I do want to get back into having a show, but I just want to sum everything up into one show. I don't want to have themed shows anymore and everything. So, I'm sitting there just trying to figure out, what to call it and everything. And I was just like, That Satanic Show. That's what it's called. It's called That Satanic Show.
And I
And
think that's fantastic.
it's going to be about everything. I'm going to, interview people, food reviews, movie reviews, book reviews, music, skits, just everything. Anything that I can think of, I'm gonna throw on that one channel. And so, yeah,
Awesome. So, as you saw, and I'll put it up there again for you all out there in Black Flame Land, it is not hard to find this man by any stretch of the imagination. If you want to get his book, and I highly recommend that you do, he's on Facebook there. There's also a ordering site that you can order it from. Even his that Satanic Show. He's got it on Facebook, Twitter, Patreon,
Vimeo,
Vimeo. I
Instagram.
love it.
Yeah,
Instagram, YouTube, and of course, both bands, Eyes of Octavia and Before and After. It is not hard to follow anything that he's doing. Multi-talented, multifaceted, as well as very, very wisdom heavy, which is what we love around here, because I myself am very much the same. I feel like we're kindred spirits over here. Just the way it is. So, that's right. Drag Me to Hell did have a goat.
yes,
I thought that shit was hilarious. That's actually one of the few films that really gave me a good chuckle, because I knew she was fucked at the end.
oh yeah,
I
oh yeah.
knew it.
But it was nice to see Sam Raimi come back. Doing horror
Exactly.
that way, and man, his signature style. But it doesn't matter what he touches.
Right.
You kind of know that he had his hand in it. The last Doctor Strange movie,
Mm-hmm.
unmistakable. That was a horror movie. I don't care what anyone says. You watch that.
Of course it was.
There's she's possessing another version of herself, but he made that look like straight demonic possession. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Just yeah. So
And it was beautiful.
oh yeah, you want
Really dug it.
a Marvel horror movie? Doctor Strange, the second one. Oh yeah,
Man, it has been an absolute pleasure and honor, and just a joy to hang out with you tonight.
I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, most definitely. Anytime. And here at Black Flame Entertainment, Reapers Underground, we will absolutely promote everything that you got going on, at any time. So Thank you all to everybody that showed up out in the comments section. You guys were fucking badass as usual. The more you interact, the more fun you have. And let me tell you, no question is too off base as long as I deem it necessary.
Right.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's what it's all about. So, what are your final thoughts? What do you want to leave with new fans you've made tonight, as well as fans that you already have?
Just check out my sites, like, follow, subscribe, especially hit me up on Patreon. I'm a starving artist. It's not a lot of money. Just give me $6.66 a month, and I'll send you some awesome stuff.
How hard is that?
It's pocket change. You're not going to miss it. Just do it. Just put it in there and everything, and forget about it and everything. It's no big deal. No,
It'll be
but
a tax write-off.
yeah. And I'm always doing something. I've always got my hands in things. But if you follow me on my various pages, just come along for the ride. It's going to be fun.
Hell yeah. Definitely hang around after we get off live. But again, thank you so much for joining us. And everybody out there in the comment section, as always, if there is no you, there is no us whatsoever. Right. So once again, as you're about to lay it down, getting ready for that Friday commute to your job, and again, having just beautiful visions of Baphomet and demons in your head. But always, most importantly, stay heavy.